Hey guys, how are you? Today I want to talk to you about how unsuspect public gets subverted just by watching interviews when left media asks questions. Did you know that you can influence public opinion because of the way the question is constructed? What do I mean by that? The question that has an implied statement built in, which implies something but protects the one asking the question from accusations of false claims. It is the form of subversion or deception when public could not detect the false hidden message implied in the question and accepts this hidden message as a fact. Here's an example for you. Let's say Mr. Smith is running for office, and during the televised debate, mainstream news representatives ask Mr. Smith a question. How many times did you beat your wife last week? Even if the response is none or zero or I did not beat my wife, the damage has been done. Maybe Mr. Smith did not do it last week, but what about a week before? If you are in the audience and don't know the person well enough, you might accept the possibility that Mr. Smith is a potential wife beater indeed. Especially if you saw few fake news reports from the week before that Mr. Smith was suspected in threatening a female student when he was in law school 25 years ago. So now we're dealing with the deceptive question and the mental reinforcement of the hidden false narrative. Here's another example of deceptive questions. How many school shootings we have to tolerate before we change gun laws? The hidden message is that gun laws are the main reason or the only reason why we have school shootings problems in this country. In reality, it is a complex problem that requires complex reasoning to find the solutions. In short, there are many reasons why a specific shooting incident took place, but they all would not be taken into consideration when one hears the question such as how many shootings we have to tolerate before we change gun laws. One's mind will attempt to search for an answer, which is actually a distraction from questioning the truthfulness of the implied claim. It is a very tricky and deceptive way to make the audience look for an answer when question itself does not address the problem. It also makes public blind to the specific circumstances of the shooting incident. From now on, people's opinion is the hammer and every problem is the nail. This is how mainstream media makes a lot of folks fired up with the idea of social justice without looking deeper. Please see our talk on complex reasoning and critical thinking from the previous week. And the last deceptive question we want to talk to you today is this. Here's the hypothetical story for you. Let's say you come to the local supermarket and see how a woman is screaming at the cashier. You ask the woman a question, what's the problem? And maybe she is overreacting. On which the lady replies, what makes you an expert on women's behavior? Are you a psychologist? You're not even a woman, so you would not understand. So you better keep it quiet. This type of deception is an attack on personal confidence by using fallacy questions. This logic means you should never accept any advice from your wife because she is not a man and don't know what it's like to be one. Kids not supposed to listen to their parents because the parents aren't kids no longer, and so on. This is how ridiculous this logic is. But in the moment we could not articulate this because of the deceptive questions that contains an implied message. Let us be smart and exercise common sense to be able to see subversion tactics used almost every day by mainstream media. Please leave the comments below if you noticed any examples of deceptive questions by the media. I want to learn more about it. Shalom.